valley, and they were moved off to reservations. And I think they quite possibly had a great relationship with star people in that area, and I'd really like to learn more about that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's so interesting, and I will say this, and I'll let you get back in your story. Again, I have somebody who runs a website, a UFO reporting site out of North Carolina, Mary Joyce, and she swears in North Carolina there is a underground military base that supposedly there's aliens there working with our government, but in giving them technology. She also, again, has connections with some people that are been in the government and different agencies, to fall back on some of the information she told me. And she said, these are the type of aliens you wouldn't want to meet because they are, what she claims, the type would abduct you and look at you as like a Big Mac. They look at humans as no more as, we just lost the call. Anyway, they look at as humans as, whatever. Okay, the phone is busy. So we're going to give it another try here again and see if we can get them back. That's the trouble. Sometimes with Skype here, it just drops out.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, we dropped out. That happens on Skype. That's why I don't like Skype.
I am sorry.
Oh, no. That's what scares me. I mean, so there's so many different twists to, aliens and, abductions. And that's what I like about your book. I mean, going in your book, and I'll let you get back into it. I love all the maps. I love the pictures. I mean, it's probably one of the best laid out books I've seen.
Well, thank you very much. I wanted to pick up where Jim Ragsdale left off, and actually the Ragsdale Productions went out of business, and it's hard to find this book again that I bought in '96, so I wanted to recreate some of the maps that were in that book to help pinpoint the crash site. And one of the things I did working with Max Littell at the Roswell Museum was I suggested to him when I visited with him that how about aerial photos of the crash site, because it's BLM land. And he said, well, that might be a good idea. So he went off and hired a research company to go to the National Archives to search for aerial photos that maybe you could see something. And what he got back was a report stating, yes, a 1946 photo was available. That was the year before the crash. And there were cataloged other photos after the crash date, but they were no longer available at the National Archives. And so he kind of gave up on it, and I said, gosh, that's really weird, and that's kind of almost a smoking gun. So would you care if I pursued it? And he didn't care. So I went and tried to get other photos and didn't have luck doing it. So I did put in my book the 1946 photo, and then I put a report stating that other photos were cataloged but not available. So I felt that was very strange.
Well, just as strange as they first announced that it was a crashed UFO, and then all of a sudden the story changed. It was a weather balloon, and the weather balloon couldn't do take out all that timber and all that stuff, at the crash site.
Correct. Something happened there, and they didn't want to show it. They took photos of it. They took photos of it not knowing people are going to do research on the area later. So I think as soon as everyone started the Roswell investigation and all these books, that they took it out of circulation. Let's see. At some point, it might be interesting if you have the ability to play our narrated story that's on the website.
I actually don't. I am really sorry. I wish I could.
Okay. Well, on the website is a page called Narrated Story Overview. It's a 9-minute narrated story, actually, of a story that's printed in the same book. And it goes into the theory overview of 3 underground bases with national parks over them and the fact that we're hiding them. So if you have a chance, you can go look there. Also, you could look me up on Facebook, Andy Oien, ANDYOIEN, and I've got information on the books there as well. So that kind of covers our initial dive into the UFO arena and the writing of the first book. And if you'd like, we could talk a little more about the second book.
Oh, yeah, because we got a few minutes left here. I'd like to. What got you into writing Alien Park Dunes? I tell you, that is a thick read. You know that. That is not a weekend read.
Yes, I know. Now, this is an interesting book, and it's the next book from the first book. You'll notice that there's a triangle on the cover of both books.
Right.
So the book one we just discussed discovers the triangle. Now, this new book has a triangle on it, and it's focused on the northern end of the triangle, which is the park in Colorado. So Alien Dunes Park is a sci-fi story of what I think's going on at the park with aliens, and our government trying to hide it. Hide the fact that they're there, that they're studying humans, that we're working with them. So it's an interesting sci-fi novel, and in the back of the book, what I think makes it a little unique is some of the research that I've been doing for 20 years and also have on this website. It covers the history of the triangle itself. And what I mean by that is I've got a series of drawings starting with North America, and it's blank. And I kind of consider here, well, you got aliens who are approaching Earth, they're flying to Earth, they're coming to Earth, and they want to study us, humans, and they want to study all animals and what have you. And they got to pick a place to have a base. And where's it going to be, on land, on sea? Is it underground, in the mountains? So from my research on the first triangle, I put 3 dots down, and those are the 3 locations. And that's theory, okay? That is my theory. And beyond that, all the other sketches that follow are documented places, times, events, and things that happen around the triangle. So this is about 40 pages worth of drawings of the history of the triangle since the time of man. And it covers all the North American native tribes that live around the triangle. And then it goes through the exploration by the Spanish and the French and we Americans. And then the taking of the land by the Spanish and the Mexicans. And then eventually when Texas claims land. And when Texas claims land in America, they actually take the land where the triangle's sitting. So if anyone can get to the book, if you can get to the website and look at the history of the triangle, it's very interesting, I think.
Oh, it is. Now, also, while we still have you on here, where can they find your books at?
Both of the books are for sale at Amazon.com, and the newest book is both ebook and paperback.
You can get it on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited.
And I think it's a great read.
Of course you would.
Hoping you would think it's a great read as well. And I gotta bring in here that about a year and a half ago, I met a gentleman on Facebook who, in conversation, really liked the concept of our story. And his name is Charles Brooks. He's the president of Prime Film Ventures. He lives in Texas. And Charles and I have had conversations almost weekly for the last year and a half because I've been filling him in on the story and the progress on the story, and he's been writing a movie screenplay.
Oh, wow.
So I'm really hopeful that sometime in the near future we might get to see a movie of this story.
I think it would be really interesting. Like I said, your book is so, how it describes everything. I mean, the stories, what you have in here, even Alien Park Dunes. I mean, you got times and dates and all this stuff. And I find it so interesting. I mean, how can I say it? I mean, I've read a lot of books on UFOs. I get books every week from people wanting to be on the show about UFOs. And I want to thank you for your guys' book. I mean, the cover alone drew my attention right away. But when I opened up that first book, the Southwest UFO Triangle Theory, I was really shocked because I think it's probably one of the best books written and covering what you got in there.
Well, thank you very much. This has been a part-time fun job because we both have day jobs. And we both have day jobs, and we're very busy, and so we do this on the weekends. In the mornings, I'm a morning person, so I love to get up between 3 and 4 and do a little work before I go do the day job. So a lot of that's happened during that time. Appreciate it. Thank you for your reviewing it. The sci-fi story. I like the TV series 24. How they're doing everything like every minute or a few minutes. So this sci-fi story, I broke it into, it's a 9-day story, and I break it into all different times and time zones because you have the activity happening in Colorado, you have the FBI and Washington types and in Washington, D.C., their time zones. And in the back, I give a listing of the characters. This story actually... My writing of the story actually started out as notes for a screenplay, and about 60 pages into it, I converted it into just a novel. And actually, when I was first finished with the story, this was about 6 months ago, I was talking to Charles, and I said, "It's done. I'm finished. All my ideas are in there. It's good. I like it." And he said, "Well, Andy." There's this particular person I'd like in the movie, so I need you to add this person into the story. And I said, huh? Huh? I said, okay. So let's talk about this person and what we want this person to do and to cover. And so 6 months later, again, I finished the book a second time, adding not only one person, but at least another 12 people to work with this person. So
you weren't done yet.
Well, but no,
we had to color it up too. I mean, there was my participation was taking these characters and giving them a little bit more life and giving them dimension and identity. So,
and I'm so happy for Julie's input because I'm just kind of a details guy. Let's get the facts down. And when Julie first started reading this, she said, "Man, you need some help on descriptions and color." And I'm so happy she joined me co-writing. This has been a lot of fun. And then our daughter, Lauren, who's 20 and in college for art school, I talked her into helping us out on the artwork. So she did the cover and most all the sketches in the book. She probably did about 50 sketches in the book. So it's been a team and family effort, and we've had a lot of fun working together on it here.
Mm-hmm. Well, the book kind of really flows really good. And, hey, Julia, I think you did a really good job stepping in, and giving it life and depth to the book because, when you start reading it, you get drawn into it. It just kind of like flows, and it's really good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. So, anyways, I'm going to continue to work with Charles, hoping to come up with a real dynamite movie screenplay, and I know he's looking to find some actors to work on this. And if there's any actors out there who might be interested in an alien story, get the book and check it out.
Or producers.
Yeah, or producers or directors or investors. Yeah, I'll put that plug in there.
Hey, well, guess what? One of my good listeners and one of my fans is Michael Caine, and I'm sure you heard of Michael Caine.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes. So he loves my show, and he listens to it quite often. And, a lot of producers